Hello and welcome to the TTFL Season 7 opener. Round 1 tonight is in Bahrain. Following the official calendar this year, a couple of changes though. Rather than having 3 sprint races, they've gone for 5 and they've been picked at random by the Wheel of Fortune, or Misfortune, depending which way you look at it. Our driver lineups for this season are in the Mercedes, you've got HCRA and Hepburn 21. The Ferrari is occupied by Cons and Freedom. Red Bull is DXT Nevo and DXT Anthony, and they're both really happy with that choice, or that result from the spin the wheel. Alpine is DXT Moyland and Speedy. Aston Martin, you've got Scotty and Non-Human. In the Williams, Guernsey and Hydra, or Hyder. McLaren is SFR Martin and Frenzy. AlphaTauri is DXT Singh and DXT Hobo, teammates again. Alfa Romeo, you've got Thornicus and King Phi Panda. And in the Haas, you've got RRL GR3 and Webb Stappen. I'm joined tonight by DXT Ferret once again, who's gone out today and bought the game just to do comms with us.
Well, I wouldn't say that I bought it. We'll keep that under wraps, like.
Got the game, that's all that counts.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a really good season. I'm actually going to put it out there, and I'm actually thinking Martin and SFR Martin and Frenzy combination is going to be something to watch.
I think everyone in this tier are going to be quite close and competitive. The way they've done the evaluations to decide the tiers, I think it's worked really well to get everyone on a similar skill levels.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It's great to see Cons back up in tier 1 because he appears to be there, and HCRA after doing really well in tier 2, stepping up with the big boys.
So everyone, there's a few drivers out on track. First one to start their lap in the Mercedes is HCRA.
Yeah, nice entry into turn 1.
The traction through turn 1 and 2 on this game is quite difficult to get right.
Yeah, you as soon as you mess up on turn 1, you're screwed right up until turn 4, really, because you don't get the exit from turn 3 to give you the speed you need for that straight. But it seems like HCRA's got to it really well. He's taking that corner in turn 8. Took a bit too sharp, so lost a lot of speed there.
Not noticed any signs of anyone having a spin as yet. Literally, as I say that, there's a Ferrari round. It looks to have got going again.
Guess that would have been Freedom.
A bit disappointed with the colours on the mini-map being predominantly blue again this season. I was hoping they'd have altered them to make them easier to tell the difference, as HCRA crosses the line to set the opening time of a 1:29.0. Behind him, I think that's Non-Human. No, that's Scotty out on the final corner. Scotty's had an incident.
Typical Scotty.
Non-human has just done a 128.9. So 10th up on HCRA on their first runs. We've got Freedom and Shawnicus and DXT Anthony and King 5 Panda all out on the inters. This is interesting strategy from the last game, but makes no difference on this one, as this now follows the current season's quali rules, so you don't have to start on the tyre you use in Q2 anymore.
Is that right?
Yep, the same as they've done in the real world now. You basically just have softs available. I think you have 4 sets of softs through the full quali session, and then the race, the soft tyres are horrendous. You're looking at 5 or 6 laps maximum before they're falling apart and screaming.
Yeah. Oh.
But you only get...
I didn't realise the game actually followed suit with that, but it's good. It's good to see.
As Anthony's just gone out. Lost it coming out of 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of 7, just before 8, is ended up in the barrier.
Oh. Then Moylan puts a 130.1. The thing, what we're looking at is like non-human last season was just so dominant. He was head and shoulders above everybody else on a majority of the laps. But we're seeing HDRA right up there with him. And Hobo, within a second, he was like almost like a lap behind non-human when you look at lap times last season. He was absolutely dead bad last season.
Yeah, Hobo's
quick on this. He's found some pace, hasn't he, really?
I think the new handling model, I think it suits his driving style.
That or becoming a dad actually really helped him.
Yeah,
he's found his balls.
Driving with the baby on his lap helps.
Well, to be honest, it's not going to really make much difference. He's got a gut there, hasn't he, to pretend to be a baby as well? So, we've actually got like a lot of drivers here that are sitting within 1 second, 2 seconds of non-human.
Yeah, it's all very close, with the exception of the guys that have done inters, and even the guys on inters aren't as far off as I'd have expected.
No, not at all.
But with 3 drivers now out, everyone who can get a lap in will be going through to Q2.
Yeah.
As Martin gets the fastest first sector. It's nicely turned through 9 and 10 on the middle DRS straight. Owen loses it coming out of 11. I think he got on the power a little bit too soon and was just touching the curb, and it unsettled his car. But kept it out the wall, so it keeps going. Speedy on an outlap.
Scarenzi's now coming out. So with this with the current lineups, who would you put up being like the potential instructors champion? I know we haven't seen much of these drivers drive this game, but who's your early money on?
Oh, it's a difficult one because Singh was last season's champion.
Yeah.
HCRA was the Tier 2 champion. I don't know what HCRA's. I was going to say I don't know what his pace is like, but looking at his current
He's
qualifying time, he's up there with them.
he's up there with non-human, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, on constructors, I'm tending towards Alpha Tauri. So I think Singh and Hobo are going to be another strong pair. Hobo's stepped up in his pace and he was had some decent results at the end of last season. So if he can pull some good results out again consistently through the season, I think they're in with a good chance.
Well, this this is very similar to old school hobo, as I'm going to call it. When I first seen hobo racing, he was pacey. He was battling for podiums constantly, and I kind of got a feeling it's going to go back that way. And we're just hoping Sting, if Sting is dominant as hobo's improved, then you might be right with the whole AlphaTauri going for it. But I'm looking at McLaren because we know what Frenzy can do from the back. He just starts at the back and just ends up on podiums all the time. But if Frenzy ever did go, you know what, I'm actually going to qualify, he could probably qualify top 3. Then we can't disregard Dornicus and King 5 Panda. Dornicus was up there with podium sitters, along with non-human. I think my early call will go with McLaren, but I'm actually agreeing with you in your shot with the AlphaTauri. Very, very strong competitors there. And also with the new shape cars, what car looks the best to you?
That's a difficult one. I'm a McLaren fan. I love the McLaren car. I think the livery on that just really it just speaks to me. I love the blue and orange, and now they've added in the black. Or I say added in the black. They've taken off some paint to leave the bare carbon.
Yeah, to save a little bit of weight. It's one of a lot of teams have done that. Stripped off a bit of the wrap to actually bring the weight down a little bit. I like the Alfa Romeo. I like the fact that you've actually changed, every year they've changed their livery, and it's not like a little change, it's quite a significant change each time, and I'm quite enjoying that. Not a fan of the Alpine, and I think anybody who likes the Red Bull, it's boring. It's been the same paint job since it started, just changing the colour blue every so often.
Yeah, it's one more click up the blue counter, isn't it? Or a little bit down on the saturation. It's the same.
You know what the thing is though? They'd get away with it if they actually did blue carbon fibre. The carbon fibre is naturally not black. It's actually it got a slight tinge of blue. You just work on it a little bit and bring that blue down a few notches, and bring the black out of it. You get a nice shade of blue, and that would go really nice for the Red Bull car, but they don't think, do they? And it is the same livery. It's like the balls are put in the same place all the time. There's nothing special. Nothing at all.
No, the AlphaTauri looks nice this year as well. And again, although that's the Red Bull sister team, they have been changing their livery up.
Yeah, and it's really nice when you like I say, we change it. It's really nice when you do, which is why I'm kind of glad that the Mercedes have gone back to silver.
I was just about to say that they've gone back to silver, and added a few tweaks to it. The black's still there, and they've got the red now with the Ineos on the airbox.
Yeah, but they had the red on the airbox last season as well, and the season before. Just people don't remember seeing that because they're just so focused on the all black.
Yeah, I can't actually remember last season's car. It was that.
Last season was all black. You had the tiny Mercedes stars on the back quarter and the red Ineos on the airbox. Yeah, it was.
So we've missed there. Scorenzi's gone out and done a 1:28.6 to put him top of the times now.
Yeah, missing that. It's not. Scorenzi. By the way, her name is Elizabeth, so you might get her in the chat.
Yep.
Yeah, big Scorenzi super fan. Give a shout out to her if she ever pops up. Quite like these days super fans when they come in and join up. Quite nice to see people backing a driver.
Yeah, rather than just the drivers commenting between laps, it's nice to have other people interacting as well. Keeps us on our toes.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was last season when I was doing commentary on my own. It was I got them to use to ask random questions. Lewis Davica, always asking the best random questions ever. So be like, what's your favourite packet of crisps? It's like completely random, but like, yeah, it worked. It changed the whole mood.
Just watching Scorenzi go around in that Williams, that's another nice livery as well. The Williams this season.
You know what? I actually like the fact that they added those little reddy coloured arrows on the back. It's a lot better than last season. A lot better. Very nice looking car. Again, it's another blue, and that's not great. That's too many blue cars on a circuit right now. We'll wait until because even when these new teams are coming in like Porsche and Audi, yeah, they're gonna go with probably silver, black. They're their typical colours. So we might see silver and blue being the dominant colours on the circuit in a few years' time. I think it's 2026. They are looking to be joining.
Yeah, when
they say joining, it's more like taking over a team rather than joining.
Yeah, and the team they're taking over, the rumours keep changing. The last I heard, Porsche were trying to work a deal or in discussions with Red Bull, and Audi were looking at Alfa Romeo.
Well, yeah, I heard that, and I also heard about Andretti Motorsports looking to take over Haas.
Gene Haas had enough of pumping money into it for not a lot of return, although they are having a good run this season.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened with Haas because their first season was absolutely epic. They had a great car and they could have easily been fighting for podiums. Went downhill dead quick.
Yeah, there weren't even major regulation changes, were there? I was listening to a podcast the other day that was actually talking about this. I don't think there were major changes to the regulations that cause them to suddenly just drop off the ball.
Yeah.
Right, it's not on the lap by the looks of that sector time. So we're just waiting now for Martin to come into the pits. The other one, the new oddity with this game as well, when you do a hot lap, you use over half of your battery now. So you can't.
I think that is actually down to personal settings.
On hot lap setting, it will. On
It
the
will also,
ERS,
yeah,
it uses it the full lap, but it uses over half, whereas on the last game, it could only use a maximum of half your battery per lap.
yeah.
So a quick run through the standings at the end of Q1. Scorenzi set the fastest time with a 1:28.624, followed by Non-Human on a 28.977. SFR Martin was third on a 29.0. HCRA was fourth on a 29.0. And Nevo on a 1:29.6. Hobo on a 1:29.7. Moyland on a 30.1. Hepburn on a 30.3, Cons on a 30.8, and then Thornicus on his inters a 34.0, King Phi Panda a 34.2 on the inters, Speedy a 34.6 on the softs, and Freedom a 36.7 on the inters. Scotty, Frenzy, and I think it was Anthony, wasn't it? Didn't either retired or had an incident and couldn't carry on through Q1. They've sort of fixed that then. The track map stays up now when you go between seconds, which it never used to.
No, but you still have to put your telemetry and lap data on if you need that.
Oh, I always forget to put the telemetry on.
Yeah, there's a few people that like to see that. I'm just having a proper look at this AlphaTauri, and it is a beautiful car. I think it looks better now on the game than when they first released it on their reveal days. The game just picks up the colours really well.
Yeah, I think all the liveries look better on the night races. The lights react to them so nicely.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. So nearly all the drivers out. See, this is where we're going to see the first instance of who's faster than who, because everybody wants to get into the top 10. Beforehand, people go, oh yeah, I'm going to get into the top 10 because X, Y, and Z are not going to do a lap. Like, Frenzy doesn't do a lap. He'll start 14th, as long as everybody does a lap afterwards. He just retires from the session.
Yeah, I thought he retired from the first. It's because
he retired. So if you retire from the session, you don't. You can carry on.
It's because someone had DNF'd before he retired. That's what caused
Yeah,
that.
there was a couple of DNFs beforehand.
So who have we got? Hobo is starting his lap. ERS already down to 68% by the time he gets to turn 4. A little wide of the apex into turn 8. On the run up now to the worst braking zone in the game, turn 9 and 10.
Yeah, so we've got. I'm on board with Non-Human going into 9 and 10. Now everybody takes it that line differently. People who follow the the game's driving line will tend to be halfway towards the apex of turn 9 and then push wide to turn 10. But if you actually watch professionals do it, they actually go a bit wider, almost on the outside of the track on turn 9, and push through the middle. Get the maximum track width. So what people don't realise, the game shows you the mathematically perfect line, but it doesn't suit the cars usually.
Yeah.
So you need to find that absolutely perfect line by just changing little bits. It's the same as when you think of Silverstone going through Maggots and Beckett's. Later Apex are actually better for you.
Oh, I'm just going to go quiet a minute. I need to answer this phone call. I'll be back.
Be quite interesting to see how Freedom and Cons do in this game. Now, Freedom is one of those drivers that is competitive enough to be battling with. Oh, and as we talk about me, just spins out at turn 4 and puts it into the wall. So, he won't be going into Q3. We're now coming into the crossover time where a lot of drivers will be jumping in the pits to get ready for the next run. Big Cons has had enough and he's going to be diving into the pits now. And Audrey Hepburn here moves into P6 with a 130.0. The currently Chronicus with a 128.732. Non-Human 128.763. SFR Martin. A 129.3 and Scorsese 129.4. Both these drivers have the ability to knock a second off their lap times. We've got a HCRA 129.7, Audrey 130.0, King 500 130.0, Herbert 130.0. All these drivers really within hundredths of each other. Nebo 130.5, and we know he is just as quick as Hobo right now. Moyland on 130.6, which is quite shocking to see him at that position, and Speedy needing pull something out right now to get himself into Q3 with Cons really needing a good hot lap right now. I think Audrey here is on his way in.
Sorry about that. I had to take that phone call.
Not a problem. It's just quickly running through some of the drivers and the times. Like, the difference between Chronicus and non-human is minimal, just like the difference between Audrey Hepburn and Hobo. I don't know what Hepburn's first name is really, but I'm going to call him Audrey.
You got King 5 Panda in the middle of that as well.
Yeah, so like It's absolutely brilliant when you see this group of pit drivers that are that close. You know you're going to have a good battle between those drivers. And Nevo is a driver that we've seen in Q1 could match Hobo's pace. So Nevo could put himself into the mix of that battle as well. And Moyland not performing as well as he normally does.
I don't think he doesn't gel very well with this track. It's not one that he enjoys racing, I don't think.
I don't know why. It's one of the easiest, best tracks on the circuit right now. It's
a good track when you get the flow. You've just got to get the flow right and keep it.
Well, he's watching him drive around Kota is brilliant. So I really can't understand why he struggles so much around Bahrain. It's just baffles me. If you drive around Kota, you can drive around here even better. Luckily, we haven't seen anyone get killed by the death curve on this game so far. But touch wood, you get to see it soon. I love seeing someone die at the death curve at some point.
It's not as much of a death curve. It'll still fight you. But you can. I think the cars naturally want to stay away from it as you enter, but if you do clip it a little bit, you can get away with it.
Ah, fair enough.
I think
I'm going to stay on board of Nevo for a lap, see how he does. Because I want to say he's already taken half a second off his previous time in Sector 1. Karenzi pushing that gap open no further. 128.5.
I want spectator view of the Red Bull.
Yeah, it's absolutely. He's holding it really well. Could have got closer to that in a curb at 10-11, but nicely
out of his time now.
Yeah,
that's going to put him on a 129.5. That's going to jump him up to about 5th.
There we go. You got it spot on. 129.5. Wow. He called that at the end of Sector 2. That was spot on. That's the barrier that we're looking at with drivers such as Hobo. That's where you should be hitting. Moyland on that lap, it needs to do something well here as the XT Sausage, aka Speedy. Really needs to get himself sorted.
Into the pits. Hepburn just coming to the end of his lap now. And goes with the 29.6 to put him up to 7th. Con's currently sitting 11th on a 31.6. Yeah, I don't think he's going to have time to get round, get in the pits and get back out. 2 minutes left of the session.
Yeah, that's going to be a tall order.
So Moyland starting his final run. Look round to Speedy, see if Speed is improving through Sector 2. Looking to see a sort of 2-second improvement to guarantee a place in Q1. He's not pushing, that's why he's got a 7-second over. I'll miss a split for Moylan through Sector 1, so we'll see how he's doing at the end of Sector 2 as he's recovering ERS already, so I'd say he's not pushing now. But he has got time to get round and get one final lap in.
But Herbert's now on this push. Herbert's now in this position where he's got to think, right, if two drivers below him are quicker than him, he's out. He needs that extra time.
Speed has taken 0.2 off his time through Sector 1.
Not the big. He needs a bigger gap than two tenths. He needs to be taking a second, really, out of the Sector 1. And another second out of Sector 2.
Unless he had an incident on his actual time lap. And a good Sector 1. As he's coming up to the end of Sector 2 now.
He had a better line through turn 12 there than Hobo did.
He's just under a second quicker. We could put him on a 31.0. So he needs to find another half a second at least through the end of this lap. Comes out the final corner. DRS open. 30.67, 200ths faster than Moyland, who's currently, according to
not doing as good as what his fastest lap is. That is one hell of a run there, DXD sausage. Oh wow.
Moyland's now 0.6 out of his middle sector.
Oh. That is like amazing. It's the teammates. So it's really harsh on either one of them.
Moyland does 29.8.
Yeah, 29.8 dead. You kind of make me think though, like you're looking at Moyland there, and you got drivers who were in Tier 2. The next 3 drivers up were all Tier 2 drivers.
Tier 2 started last season, didn't it?
Yeah, Tier 2 started last season, so we didn't have a full grid last season, so... Yeah, you've got like HCRA, who was the Tier 2 champion, Hepburn and King 5 Panda, all Tier 2 drivers.
So at the end of that session, we'll be losing Speedy, Cons, Freedom, and Frenzy. Speedy was so close until the last seconds of quali to getting through to Q1.
Yeah, Moylan pulled something out of his foreskin there.
I would not like to be a fly on the wall in the Alpine garage when them two are discussing what just happened.
No, not at all. They both struggled, really. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case for the Alpine as we go a lot further along the calendar.
So now we're just waiting for everyone to come out for Q3 now. It's like Nevo's on the way out. A McLaren. It'll be SFR Martin. Aston Martin. Yeah, it looks like everyone's coming out now. Don't like the graphic in the animation in the pits though. As they come out of their garage, they get roughly where the Aramco line starts, and then just jump straight into the middle of the pit lane. Not as fluid as it used to be. I'm assuming you've seen the manual formation lap and lining up in the grid box.
I've seen it. Unfortunately, I've not actually tried that out yet. Because they're not the game that is basically purchased a few hours ago.
I like it. I think it does add another element to the whole experience.
Well, it was something that a lot of people was asking for the last few years. They wanted to be able to pick the angle they start on. Because when you're at Monza, if you're on the right hand side, you want to get over to the left as soon as possible. I think it's about right, really, that this is what we got, and the new pit strategy where you where you optimize your pit entry. I think that's a game changer there.
It is, and it isn't for me, because I'm guessing they've had to do it the way they've done it for ease of programming. But you don't turn the wheel, you have to press the button it prompts you to press. It's always the same button, so for me it's set to X. You have to press that at the right point to get the turn in.
Yeah.
I was hoping when it was first announced that you would actually have to turn the wheel, turn right into the pit box and turn left to get in the pit box properly.
Yeah, if they did that, you could it would suit wheel drivers a lot more than control drivers. But to be fair, that's who your bread and butter are, people who've got a wheel.
So Hobo opens us up with a 129.6, which I think is the same, nigh on the same time he did in Q2.
Pretty much is. Very, very close to that.
And Nevo's going to cross the line on a 130.7. Looking at the dirty McLaren now, who's coming into the pits. HCRA crosses the line on a 129.0 to take the current no, Shaunicus has just beat that by 31 thousandths of a second with a 129.003. Moylan's taken fourth on a 129.8. Hepburn on a 30.0. Non-human obviously not on an actual lap because that's a 2-minute time.
Yeah, I think he's like. He kind of like worked out that he's not going to put a good time in it and charge his battery so he can go for another quick lap.
So Scarenzi's sector 1 time was a 28.5. Lifting for 5 pandas. I need to find the add-on for SimHub that gives you the breakdown, the full leaderboard details, so you can see the sectors as well. And that would make watching qualifying easier to compare times mid-lap.
Yeah.
So 106.5 through sector
Not here over
2.
128.5. That is a phenomenal lap time, and not many people are going to be matching that.
And that was on his second lap on those tyres as well.
Yeah. But Scarenzi does it with 120.3. This Scarenzi guy he's on another level.
He is rapid.
So there is a driver, LH 44, or which is now called GR3,
3.
which I do believe he will be in the mix up here with the non-human Scarenzi Bronicus battle.
As Elizabeth is rather happy with her man's time.
Of course she will be.
Moyland has been disqualified.
He's beached himself.
Has he got stuck? Our first beating of the new season.
You know what, actually, that there on its own is probably a great reason to buy the game. Cars getting beached. Absolutely love it.
I was doing time trial around Spa. Oh, I know you know all the corner names, I can't remember the bottom double right-hander before the run up to bus stop. I clipped the inside curb in the first part and it spun me. I ended up an inch or two away from the barrier without making contact, put the car into reverse, rolled back fractionally, and then the car just stopped and would not go.
Wow.
Thankfully, it was only in time trial and not in a race. As Scarenzi's Williams drives through the mechanics of the Aston Martin garage. I suppose that's one way to stop your competition.
And Shuriken's now on an outlap, along with Hobo, Audrey, and Evo. Martin's rounding off his fast lap. Let's see how he does. 128.7. Bottas, another very good quick lap.
So the top 5 are separated by less than a second.
Yeah. I do reckon every single driver in the top 10 here has the ability to get a sub 130.
Thornicus is starting his next flying lap. I like the detail on the wheel of the Alfa Romeo as well.
Yeah.
Although the more I look at it, the more I can see the Pac-Man ghost going around the wheel.
It does look like the Pac-Man ghost.
I'll need to have a quick look at the McLaren to see if the Google Chrome colours on that look like. I don't think they will look the. No, they don't look quite the same because it's 4 colours rather than just the alternating red and white.
Yeah, but it does look like that you're waiting for the screen to load. Oh, that squirrely little pinwheel.
Yeah. So Thornicus was 3/10 up through sector 2 as he comes across the line, does a 128.5, so takes 4/10 out of his time, and jumps up to 3rd place. HCRA is starting his lap now. I think he's the first one next on track.
Nevo with a 129.3. Like I said, all these drivers should be hitting below 129.5. Audrey looks like he's had a bit of trouble. And has moved out the way.
He's invalidated his current lap. I guess he's trying to keep out of everyone's way and save some battery for
You can see
another
a
run.
car coming up behind him. See, that's what I do like about a lot of the drivers here. They will try and keep out of the way. Or is he setting himself up to give his teammate a tow? Not bad. Not a bad effort.
Will that give him the benefit of the distant tow down the start-finish straight?
It's improved.
HCRA took nearly 2/10 out of his time there. And Hepburn's gone in the pit, and I don't think he's going to have time to get... No, he's not. That's the end of the session.
Yeah, end of the session. I tell you what, he sacrificed himself for giving himself another fast lap to give his teammate those extra 2 temps. Yeah. Might be enough there to keep his teammate on the stronger side of the circuit.
So you've got King 5 Panda and Hobo are the only ones who can
cause another step.
King 5 jumps up to 6, so Hobo is on a lap, just coming through the end of Sector 2 now, as we'll look at his split. So Hobo's
second faster.
Scarenzi's just broke into the 127s. So this is... Hobo could be jumping Nevo here, and quite possibly go up to 6 as he does on a 129.0.
That's a very nice lap there time from Hobo.
Sean Chris isn't on a lap, so HCRA's gone for another one. Can he improve? No. Or was that may have been the AI took... No, the AI shouldn't have taken control because he crossed the line before. It's now the AI takes... If you're not on a lap, the AI takes control as soon as the timer clicks down as well. So if you're on an out lap and don't make it to the line...
Yeah.
The AI will take control whilst you're on your out lap. You don't.
What a lap we've witnessed there with Scarenzi with a 127.9. That's phenomenal.
So the top 10 are Scarenzi, Non-Human, Shornicus, Martin, HCRA, Hobo, King 5 Panda, Nevo, Audrey Hepburn, and DXT Moylan down in 10th after getting stuck in the gravel.
Yeah, he went for a little bit very suntan, didn't he? Just took himself to the beach. Picked his feet up.
Is that why he was carrying the bucket and spade?
Well,
so
yeah, probably.
Now we're going to get to what's their first formation lap, where they have to line up in their grid box themselves.
Yeah, this is quite interesting. Is what are they going to do now? If you're on the outside, you want to be pointing to the inside, and if you're on the inside, you kind of do want to like either have it straight or pointing to the outside because you want to kind of cover off the driver behind you. It's tough call, but you got to try and give yourself as much space as you can without compromising your position when you come up to turn 1.
Yeah, because it's a big braking zone into turn 1 here, and
yeah, you don't want to open up the inside door for a dive bomber. yet you don't want to give yourself not enough room to get yourself around.
I was trying to think what other changes have happened in this. Now, when you exit the pits, your tyres are cold as well, so your outlap is quite heavily compromised because you've got to spend a bit of time warming your tyres before you can really push again.
Yeah.
Talking of tyres, let's put the detail up and see what everyone's gone for. So Scorenzi's gone medium. Non-human's gone for the softs.
Yeah.
So that's going to put him on a 3-stop. 2-stop, sorry. Gone for Martin, HCRO all on mediums. Hobo's gone for the hards. 500 and Nevo on the mediums. Hepburn and Moyland on the hards. Speedy and Cons on the mediums. Freedom and Frenzy on the hards. And then Anthony and Scotty on the mediums. The hards on this game, on round Bahrain, take a good 4 or 5 laps before you can really push on them as well.
See, this is where the difference between these tyres very much different from the old school tyres. So it used to be from soft to hard mediums. It was 0.7 of a second a lap. It's now almost a second. The 0.9 is the difference. For mediums hard, it used to be 0.6, and that's now changed to 0.8. So gaps is between the tyre choice is a lot bigger. But it'd be quite interesting to see.
Thornica's got pushed back. Spinner, would that be Moyland? Was that Moyland?
It was. No, it was not Moyland. It was Hobo.
So we've had 3 that failed at parking in their grid spot, so their cars get pushed back slightly in their grid space.
5 lights. And then we're going racing. See, non-human should have been on the inside of Scorenzi into this turn.
And it's camera angles.
And that dive bomb from, I believe it was Martin. No, it wasn't Martin. Someone behind Martin went for the dive bomb and just ended up going back all the way back down.
So a few changes going on down the grid. Now they're all starting to settle in, but no one's gone completely round. So everyone's still pretty close to each other. You've got a second gap between Scorenzi and Martin.
Scorenzi's dropped right down to the back. And I think that is more down to personal preference rather than being forced to. He does like to give himself a bit of a gap to the mayhem that will be in front of him, and then he starts picking them off one by one. I think he's actually going to be in for a tough battle on this one because it's a completely new game and a lot of these drivers have got more time to spend practicing.
You've got Freedom, DXT Anthony and DXT Moyland in a 3-way battle at the minute. As Moyland's round,
about to make a move on Hobo. Line himself up.
So you've got DXT Anthony into the pits after Moyland's spin. I think he came across and took the end plate off of Anthony's front wing.
Oh.
Non-human has got past Scorenzi and has opened the gap to just under 6/10 now.
I can see that being held for a few laps until basically until those tyres start wearing out a bit thin on the Aston Martin. But this potential battle between Audrey and Hobo's kind of fizzled out. I don't see him having another opportunity like he had half a lap ago pop up for a while. Frenzy now on Speedy. That'll be quite interesting to see how Frenzy does take Speedy. And it looks like King Fly Panda's struggling to keep up with his teammates. He's with a gap of 2.6 seconds already opened.
Scorenzi sets the fastest lap and has closed the gap up to non-human to 0.3 now, and with DRS enabled, he should be able to, if not get past, at least maintain the gap through the lap until non-human's tyres do start dropping off. And they do drop rather quickly as well. They go from nice and drivable to they just completely lose grip.
Yeah. It seems that Audrey now is starting to lose a bit of ground to Hobo, so we'll be seeing Cons make their progress towards Audrey. Might claim another place for the two Ferrari drivers. Oh, right next to each other right now in P10 and P11.
What else have we got? Barrels. Scorenti is closing back in on non-human. Got the slipstream down the final straight, and now onto the start-finish straight. Yeah, look at the DRS here. Can he use it to get the move complete into turn one?
Or do you think that like Scorenzi's just basically using non-human to get that DRS to keep himself keep his DRS fresh? Let's say from Martin as well. Because once he gets past non-human, he loses the DRS pull. And Martin's pushing himself hard to try to keep up with him. So he just needs to break that 1 second barrier, get rid of Martin, and then it'll be him and non-human to the end. Oh, until the first round of pit stops anyway.
Non-human's got a 10 to 15% advantage on his ERS over Scorenzi at the minute, so he's not having to completely drain it to stay in front, so softs are obviously still working for him. As both Anthony and Moyland have elected to fit the softs to try and close back into the pack after their early pit stop.
I've just noticed that where Cons has dropped from 10th down to 12th. Must have had a little bit of an offing. So, and now Freedom's on Audrey.
Freedom past Audrey, but can Audrey get the cutback?
Well, I thought Audrey might have had that then. But it looks like Freedom's through and looking to attack the back end of Hobo.
These guys are all in the DRS track. Hobo's round.
Hobo!
Kept it out the barrier though.
Oh, you know what? It makes me want to play a little voice clip. Have you heard the voice clip?
I think I have, but by all means play it.
You know, he's not out, so I'll leave it till that moment. But Hobo's spinning.
Once you cook those tyres as well, they take a lot longer to cool back down.
Yeah.
So
and he's going again! How have I spun? Have I spam?
Come on, Hobo, calm down. Just
What
concentrate
he
on
needs to
getting
do
around the
is,
corner.
yeah, he needs to just kind of like coast around corners rather than hammering it. Yeah, give a chance to those tires to cool down a bit. Oh,
Out in
poor
front,
Hobo.
it's still non-human, Scarenzi and Martin in their own little DRS train, and you've got 2.7 gap back to HCRA, who's got Thornicus in the DRS for company. Then King 5 Pandas 4.5 seconds back with a 2.3 second gap to Nevo, who's got Freedom going for a move into turn 4 as the inside line. It becomes the outside into 5, inside into 6, and is in front for 7. Is Nevo going to go for... No, it doesn't go for a cut back into turn 8.
I think Neva is not looking for the battle right now. Just looking at the way Nevo's positioned himself, he's looking to stay with him. Because if Freedom's got the pace, he might be the key for Nevo to get closer to King 5 Panda.
Let him pull him along, stick in the DRS and take the free energy that way.
Exactly.
So you've got Hepburn just teetering on the edge of getting DRS from Nevo, and he's got Scotty within his DRS, so if Hepburn doesn't have DRS this lap, which he doesn't, Scotty has, and gets the pass done.
Yeah, it's very nicely done by Scotty.
That does mean Hepburn will have the DRS on the second straight.
Nevo's now almost losing touching distance for DRS with Freedom, and he really needs to pull himself back in by 1/10.
They're both on similar ERS availability as well.
Freedom just has a nice line through the Bahrain maggots and Beckett's. It's so much nicer that he does that through that.
Was a bit of a moment on the power.
There. I suppose you're looking for the move on non-human. Oh, that's the back off for the DRS.
It's just like real life.
He could have made the move happen, he could have made the stick, but didn't want to be given non-human DRS.
Yeah.
This is a great battle between these two drivers. In the two cars that are probably the worst in real-time racing. And we're seeing them battling for pole position. And here we go, Shawnika's looking to get past HDRA. Which, this looks like it could be another great battle.
Freedom is now within the DRS of King 5 Panda.
It looks like
It's all over the back of him.
Yeah. Wow.
On the opposite tyre strategy to each other, but the medium shouldn't be dying off
Not this
that
soon,
quick. No.
No, it's like it works out that you can get roughly about 18 laps out of the hards. 18 to 20 laps out of the hards. You can get between 9 and 12 out of the softs. So a soft hard strategy is possible, and I think the mediums get about 15 laps.
Yeah, I think the game default strats you to a lap 12 pit stop, but every time I've done Bahrain, it's recommended extending that to lap 15, as freedom is all over the back of King Pi Panda. Trying to fake a move into turn 1 there.
And both of them, if both of them stayed off that apex, looking to cover each other off basically, and there we go. Freedom takes it. Does he keep it? As
side by side all the way through, leaving room for each other as well, which is always good to see. Respectful racing.
I honestly think King Pi Panda backed off a little bit there on the second exchange in the S's. So it could have went all the way, but I think King Pi Panda just played the cautious card there, backed off to make sure there was no incident, which is great. It's a positive for both drivers, because that was a very clean moment and very, very entertaining. But
Gorenzi's trying to sell the dummy to non-human into the penultimate corner.
And non-human does the right thing, and when he's moving across, looked like he could have went, it was diving into the pit, but stayed out of the pit lane. There's going to curse with HCRA. This battle's been going on for a few laps now. I'd be quite interested to see how it turns turn 4, as Sean Lucas is just teasing for that position. But I just don't think he's ready for that move yet.
It'd be interesting to know what setup people are running, because wings on this now make such a difference. Your rear wing, especially, creates so much drag.
Yeah.
And with you now having, there are default setups within the game, but they are the same setup at every track. So it's not like last game where the balance setup was balanced for the track you were doing, and then you go to a different track, but the wings would be different on balance. Now they are the same 4 or 5 across the board, and with having wing variations from 0 to 50, there's a lot more work to be done on setups compared to the last game, as non-human has pitted from the lead on lap 10, so we dragged those softs out.
He could have pushed it a little bit further and went for the hards, and then go for a clean push to the finish on hards. But maybe just felt this tyre slightly going, with Guernsey's just hovering behind him all the way.
King Pi Panda's come into the pits as well to get off of his mediums a little early.
Yeah, just a little note as well. Hobo has got the first penalty of the season. He's also got the second penalty of the season as well. He got a hat-trick of penalties before anybody else gets one.
I think I remember seeing him pick the first one up when he had his first spin.
Yeah, it was very early on. It was when he had the 2 spins. I really set him off. So yeah, well done, Hobo. That's what you mean to go on, isn't it?
Scorenzi is outside the DRS for the start-finish straight, but Martin has closed up. No, Martin got DRS yet.
I don't think he got DRS on the last straight.
He had DRS on the start-finish straight because I
Oh,
just see it wide open.
Oh, that's great. So, which means that he is closing in. This is the what they call the flip stage now between the medium and hards. So the mediums are starting to wear away now. In their last 5 laps, they do suffer quite a bit, and this is where the hards has become the grippier tyre on the circuit. So those drivers who have got 11-lap-old hards, they are doing better than the 11-lap-old mediums. Which means Freedom should be, in theory, closing that gap up significantly to Shonicus.
And then Frenzy's made his way up to 6. So he's gained 10 places so far. Yeah, because he dropped all the way down to 16, so he did gain 10 places, although it was technically only 8 from his qualifying position. Scorenzi's saying Martin's had a spin coming out of the final corner.
And he's lost it. That's a significant loss there for Martin. Because now that could cost him a podium. Because as we've seen with Freedom has been struggling to pass HCRA. The whole point that he's actually backed off quite a lot.
Trying to do quick maths and it can't work it out. Yeah, 6.3 off of HCRA now. So Scorenzi's got a nice bit of clean air in front of him. Non-human. Let's check the detail.
The non-human's got 23 seconds to make up to get near Scorenzi. And is it 26 seconds the pit stop on average?
I think this track's closer to 20.
Fair enough.
I think. I'll keep an eye on the next one to go in the pits. Yeah, non-human needs to start closing up to try and get the dump on Scorenzi at the pit stop. Because when Scorenzi comes out on those hard tyres, they're going to take a couple of laps before he can fully commit to pushing.
Yeah. Non-human's he has gone for the 2-stop strategy, so I think he could push a medium soft easily.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure he can push those medium tyres all the way to the end. It's not impossible, but it'll take a lot of work. The Martin's made a move on Stronicus. Another good battle that we've got here in front of our eyes, and it looks like Martin's sealed that. Even though Stronicus has got DRS, it's just made no difference really about the pace compared to Martin.
Which I think could be down to setup.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, when they've had the DRS open, they have sailed past the car in front, and then you've got the guys on the same tyre, same age tyre. If they can't close up with the DRS and the slipstream, I think they are running.
Non-human spun. The non-human 10-13 puts the power down a bit too early and sends the car 360, luckily staying out of the wall. But that there has cost him 8 seconds, which looks like he's not going to get the lead back from Scorenzi. Might even struggle about covering off HCRA.
HCRA. Freedom is closing up now on HCRA. It's got that gap down to just under 5 seconds. HCRA seems to be dropping back from Scarenzi out in front. I think this is Scarenzi's race to lose now.
I'd describe that more the that Scarenzi's building the gap up bigger, because I'm not seeing much of a loss of time regarding HCRA's pace. I just see Scarenzi just taking more and more time off each lap. At the current pace that Freedom's doing now, he won't be far behind Scarenzi if he started second. And Frenzy could be looking at another podium for Frenzy.
So the top 5 have all still got to pit.
Yeah, also got Cons and Speedy yet to pit. And Hobo hasn't pitted.
I'd expect to see them pushing the hards around lap 18, unless there is a safety car.
Just on board with Scarenzi, who is just about to lap the XT Moyland. Something I never thought I'd ever say.
Have to jump on board for this.
Yeah, it's almost there. See him in lead. He'll be getting the blue flags waved at him until there's a faster car approaching. And Moylan's probably sitting there going, faster car? What are you on about, faster car? Do you know who I am? The question will be, do you know who Frenzy is? Because he just passed it again. There you go. Scarenzi, Lap and Moylan. When you said this was more than Moylan's bogey circuit, I didn't really think it was going to be that much of a bogey circuit, but it really is.
That spin on the opening lap hurt him.
Yeah. And then pit stop. Those are 2 pit stops he's had.
Yeah, it's both him and Anthony put on the soft tyres, and then they've both been back in to put the hard tyres that they started on. Because you also only get 1 set of mediums and 1 set of hards for the race. Just to add another layer of complexity into strategy decisions. So races where you end with multiple safety cars. There's Moylan's round again in the background there, coming out of turn 10. Kept it out the wall and is recovering, but now he'll be getting the blue flags again for HCRA, closing in behind.
The thing is though, is you got to figure that HCRA was in tier 2 last season. Moyland was competing for the championship last season. It's like a fall from grace, isn't it? Like the reverse of Leicester City.
I think a lot is down to setups and the new handling model. These cars do feel completely different this year.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel more comfortable in this new car than over the last years. But I felt just as quite comfortable in the year before. I think last year was a broken game, in all fairness. A lot of people did somehow master it, but yeah, fine.
It's getting used to the fact now you can go over the curbs more. There are still death curbs, as every track does have, but you can ride more curb than you previously could.
Yeah, but they do tell you that if you put the power down on those curbs, you have your likelihood of spinning is higher, but it doesn't stop. It's about putting the right amount of power down when you on the exits.
Freedom has got that gap to HCRA down to 2.5 seconds now.
We are still waiting for them to pit as well, so it may come down to who's going to pit first. Really, that could change the difference between first, second, and third right now.
Freedom's going to be coming in for the softer compound, shall we say, unless they are all going to try and push for 9-10 laps on the softs, which we've seen can be done.
Yeah, you can get up to 12 laps by being a bit more cautious on the soft laps. But looking at here, HCRA right now, how many laps has he done on these tyres?
18
laps, and we're seeing degradation on those tyres right now. They are showing significant wear. But if you're looking at the hard component that is used by Freedom, you can just see a faint wear line, which is quite reasonable for those tyres. Those tyres are going to do well for another few laps, and good to see Freedom picking up a soft tyre.
I think Hobo's just picked up a speeding in the pits. Was that Free? Or was that Speedy? It may have been Speedy that got speeding in the pit lane. It was.
Oh, and Audrey's got picked up a penalty as well.
As Nevo and Audrey are having a battle through the S sector. A little bit premature with the champagne pop in the background there.
That wasn't champagne, mate.
I hope Elizabeth's got the champagne on ice ready for Scorenzi at the end of this race.
Well, with the drive he's had so far, he deserves a bit of champers, doesn't he? So Elizabeth, get the bubbly on the ice.
HCRA has pitted and has gone for the softs. I spot him out just behind Non-Human, so Non-Human had managed to recover after dropping off with that spin. It's not hurt him too badly. He's got a 6-second gap now back to HCRA.
And Non-Human's right behind Frenzy, looking for that. Well, Frenzy's GA still needs to pit. Wow, actually, this is actually... This is going to be interesting. He's what, 29.2 seconds behind Garenzi. And we're saying the pit stop is what, 20 seconds you said?
I'm sure it was 20 seconds.
Yeah, I think the pit lane difference is 20 seconds. And then you get the stop on top of it.
Yeah, to put you at about 23.
Yeah, 23 to 25, depending on how long your stop is. You can see there's an absolutely huge pace difference between these two cars with that the DRS and the softer compound. There's Grenzy's back in the pit, back out, and he's only 6 seconds in front. So it was 23 seconds. Was that stop?
It was busy weaving to get those tyres up to temperature.
Yes, Grenzy will need to put some work in really to get the tyres up as quick as possible, because Non-Human will be taking chunks out of that time.
Yeah, Non-Human
until those tyres up to scratch.
He's got it down to 5.1 now.
Yeah. If he didn't have that spin, he'd be in the lead right now. That's the hard thing about it. And tell you what, there's one thing I'm actually quite surprised about. We haven't had a DNF yet.
No safety car, no BSC.
So we got Pyro jumped into my chat. He said, "Yo, bro, hope you're good. What have I missed?" Well, to be honest, it's been an eventful race. We've had some very good on-track battles. A few people spinning, little collisions, nothing major. I see this is going to be an easy night for the stewarding panel. So, yeah, it'll be quite good for us stewards.
I'm glad I don't have to worry about stewarding for this one.
No, this is easy. This is looking easy.
This
Not
one
had
is,
any major
yeah.
incidents. And anybody who is wondering what is viable, what you need to be doing for a clip, there is a little video on my YouTube channel, basically saying about a little bit about the game and more about what we expect from your clips for instance. So get on that if you're unsure.
As Cons has pitted on lap 21 from his mediums, but has come back out on the hards. So whether he meant to select softs and forgot, I don't know. It seems he pushed those mediums for 21 laps. I would have expected him to have come out now on the softs.
Well, isn't it a limited amount of tyres throughout the whole weekend, which means he could have actually used them in qualifying?
This is true. If he did use all 4 sets in quali, which he quite possibly did, as Cons
there
is
we go,
out.
our first DNF.
Now is that going to bring out a safety car? Not looking... No. Yes, it has.
Oh.
Safety car is coming out onto the track. That's going to make it interesting now.
Yeah. Because
7 laps, you're going to lose 3 to the safety car. You're going to have 4 or 5 laps of racing at the end. I can see everyone coming in for softs now.
right, is it everyone coming for softs, or is it those who are not on softs coming in for softs? What is Scorenzi going to do? Because if Scorenzi goes in for softs, non-human will go in for softs. If not, is that position worth having the harder compound on? That's a throat question.
Non-humans mediums are 12 laps old. They take a bit more warming up behind the safety car. Everyone from 7th to 14th has pitted for new softs. I'm expecting Moylan to stay out.
Scorenzi's stayed out. Non-humans going in for a set of softs. HCRA has stayed out. So non-humans got to lose a few places. Freedom's in.
Freedom's in, which saves non-human. He's only dropped 1 place through that now. And he is going to have fresher softs.
Has he? Or is Frenzy going to take that off him? Is he back out? He is. He's back out just in front. This is going to be...
I think Moylan stayed out hoping Scorenzi would pit so he'd be able to unlap himself. Because behind, there's still no official method for unlapping behind the safety car.
Yeah, it just basically there is the
unofficial go off
The
track.
unofficial way, which would be Scarenzi going off circuit for brief moments, allowing Moylan to get past him. But it's not advised in league racing because it can actually trigger bugs, which we have noticed in previous games.
The safety car does sound like it's nice to hear a V8. It is a V8, isn't it? The safety car.
Yeah.
I can hear the growl of the safety car.
Yeah, it beats the V6s that were in these F1 cars.
Well, if it was possible and the Silverstone Museum wouldn't notice, I would have taken the V6 hybrid engine off the display and fitted it in my own car.
Yeah, it'd be questionable if they would notice that, mate. It's something they could easily miss.
It's well bolted down.
So they might actually just hear you.
Yeah.
With power tools to get it off.
Why have you brought in a rolling snap-on toolbox? And why, when you came in, did you pull it really easily, but on the way out, it's taking 3 of you to push it?
Well, you get tired for today, mate. You get tired for today. Pushing that big thing around.
So Moylan has now come into the pits, which it's unfortunate he wasn't able to unlap himself and get back into the race, but at the same time,
There's no right for being such a donkey.
it means when we do get going again, there isn't a lapped car in the middle of the pack that's trying to get out of the way whilst everyone's trying to take advantage of the restart as well.
Yeah, it's at least it's not, we're not going to have a whole Abu Dhabi picking uproar, which is one thing that we never want. So we don't want to put an asterisk on the end of anybody's championship. Like we're like theoretically Max Verstappen has. I love to hear the barrage from all these Dutch fans that says, "Oh no, he deserved it." It's like, he never said he never deserved it. He just didn't deserve the way he got it.
That final race was.
He could have just scrapped the whole race, and then he still would have won it because he had more race wins than Hamilton.
Yeah. I think last season was it was one of the most interesting seasons for a while. Because Mercedes were probably...
It's only interesting because there was a lot of crashes.
Yeah.
Here's a conspiracy for you then. Did Nicholas Latifi crash that car at the end on purpose?
If we end up with another... Oh, it won't... PK.
Because he knew that his teammate... He knew that his teammate was going to come from the Red Bull team before that. He knew that was happening. He knew found out that Red Bull were going to influx a little bit of money into Williams, so saved his dad a few millions by doing it. So, I do love a good conspiracy theory.
If in 4 or 5 years' time that gets proven and it's another Renault Singapore deliberate crash gate, then all hell will break loose regarding Verstappen's championship.
Yeah, Are we going to go? Oh, we are at the
Safety
end of this
car in
lap.
this lap. James Moyland is last because he had a spin out the final corner on the first lap. It meant he had to pit for a wing and tyres, and he's just not been able to catch back up with the pack. And then, unfortunately, he was lapped, and we've had a safety car, and he wasn't able to get himself unlapped. So he's last, and he's currently a lap down on everyone as well.
Here we go.
Didn't quite get the jump on him, but has managed to gain.
Scarenzi's little dodgy start, I'm going to call it, is basically allowed non-humans to get past HDRA. Oh, this is no interest in this.
And you've got Freedom now right on the back of him as well.
Yeah. This is I love it when this happens at the end. We've got an interesting ending here, and it's top quality. So, non-human, if he stays under DRS, he's got a good chance of actually jumping Scarenzi, because those tyres are a bit more lively, let's call them. Freedom just needs to pull out. We could have a McClay brothers duo on the podium.
Oh, it's Freedom and Non-Human that are brothers, isn't it?
Yeah, the McClay brothers. It's quite great when you get them both battling each other, like Ralph and Michael back in the day. You always want to see Ralph win because Michael was the tosser. Going non-human. Just close it in a little bit more.
Freedom
HDRA really can't handle turn 1. Really struggles out turn 1 a lot.
And now
here we go. Freedom's for that break up.
On the outside. We'll give him the inside. And he's got it through.
You know, I'll tell you what, a little bit of touching between the two drivers, but so respectful for both of them to have that kind of battling.
Scarenzi's opened that gap to 7/10 in front. It's Non-Human still in the DRS when it gets activated for the final lap. Scarenzi's got 20% more ERS. Non-Human is really pushing. He's down to 6% on his ERS now.
It was the other way around at the beginning of the race. It seems that when you're chasing, you're pushing that bit harder, aren't you?
Freedom's pushing to get on the back of this battle as well. He's now within the DRS of Non-Human.
Here we go, DRS is now enabled, so we've got one lap of DRS. It could all come down to this.
HCRA's dropped down to 5th now as SFR Martin's got past him.
Here we go, Non-Human. Infinite DRS, can he make any kind of lunge? I don't think he's got it in him now. I think he's gone really wide there.
Freedom's round.
Freedom's gone. I'll tell you what, I don't know how on earth he survived that. That was very much like the spin that the Conrad, really. Both Ferrari drivers losing it.
So Scarenzi's comfortably outside the DRS now.
Yeah.
Both absolutely rinsed their ERS. If we've got anyone close behind. Scotty is on the back of Hobo as that's speedy round on the exit of turn 11. And come back to the front to see as they come across the line. Scorenzi takes the opening round, followed by Non-Human. SFR Martin picks up third. Frenzy's up into fourth. HCRA in fifth. Dornicus in sixth. King 5 Panda in seventh. DXT Anthony with a good recovery to get eighth and pick up a couple of points after getting mixed up in Moylan's spin on the first lap. Scotty picks up ninth. Hepburn gets 10th. Nevo was 11th. Already it's off my screen so I can't see. Frenzy picks up the game's driver of the day. That'll be because of the overtakes from starting down the back.
That's one thing I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of the whole driver of the days based on overtakes when we've seen some fantastic driving from drivers who, like HCRA defensively was absolutely brilliant. SFR Martin done really well. And McLaren, like I say, third and fourth. They'll be ones to watch.
So, to confirm our finish in order, Scorenzi takes the win of the first round, Non-Human in second, Martin in third, Frenzy in fourth, HCRA in fifth, Shaunicus in sixth, seventh was King Pie Panda, DXC Anthony in eighth, Scotty in ninth, Hepburn in 10th, Nevo in 11th, Freedom in 12th after his spin on the final or penultimate lap, Hobo in 13th, Speedy in 14th, 15th was Moyland, and Cons was our only DNF in 16th.
Yeah, fastest lap going to Scorenzi with a 129.7, so the extra point going to him. Good points for McLaren and Alfa Romeo. Both drivers scoring well into the points. Aston Martin and Mercedes having both their drivers on the points is actually nice for them.
Oh, that was a great first race. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut my stream off there and jump across to RPR and set their lobby up before they all lynch me. But thank you for watching. Cheers for your company tonight, guys.
Appreciate it, and can't wait till next week. It'll be another eventful race.
Yeah, they're off to Jeddah next week, which should be fun. So I'll catch you next week, guys, if not during the week.
Absolutely, man. Goodbye.